I'm going to teach you how to scuba dive. Imagine being 60 feet deep in the Caribbean Ocean, being able to reach out and touch a fish. There are requirements to being able to scuba dive. These are being healthy, well fit, and you have to be at least 12 years old to snorkel and 14 to scuba dive. You also need to do a test where you swim without the snorkel and fins and also with them. There are places in Philadelphia where you can get scuba certified. These are all in like Center Philadelphia, the Blue Horizons Dive Center, Underwater World, and Mid-Atlantic Scuba Center. The price to get certified is around $600. The price can vary. You can usually go up to maybe even $1,000. There's 3 steps to the certification. This is classroom study, confined water, or confined diving, and the open water certification dive. The equipment you actually need to buy is the mask, the fins, the snorkel, and the boots. This is a scuba mask right here. It's a little bit dirty because you're actually supposed to clean it with fresh water right after you scuba dive, but I guess I failed to do so. You also can get prescription lenses if you have glasses. So if you need glasses to see, you'd be able to see underwater if you get prescription lenses. You want to get a mask that fits well and that's comfortable, as well as for the fins and the snorkel and the boots. You also need to get your size in the fins and the boots. This is the equipment you don't necessarily need to buy. You can usually rent this at a scuba center. The BCD is a buoyancy control device, and this is how you'll be able to, like, if you're at the bottom of the ocean, be able to pump it up with air from your tank, be able to come back up. The regulator is what you breathe out of. You get your air from the tank. The wetsuit is to keep warm when you're in cold water. And the one I did not put on here is a weight belt. You have a belt with weight in it so you can sink to the bottom faster. And if you are a normal diver and you like to dive a lot, you can buy this equipment and that's where you'll spend most of your money. The classroom study, you have a lot of lessons, quizzes, 9 hours for each class, or 9 hours overall. I actually have a video with the instructions on how to breathe. So.
After you're comfortable breathing underwater, your instructor will have you remove the regulator from your mouth and replace it. You learn to do this because there are skills you'll practice that involve taking out the mouthpiece, and it can happen by accident. No big deal. Out of your mouth, the second stage fills with water that you need to clear before you can breathe again. The easiest way to do this is in a more or less upright position. Exhale sharply into the mouthpiece. This blows the water out of the one-way valves so you can get air. But what if you don't have enough air in your lungs? No worries. Block the mouthpiece with your tongue, and then again in a more or less upright position. Press the purge button. Air from your tank blows the water out, and now you can breathe. Since the rule...
Okay, well that's just a little bit about that. The classroom study, you get a packet like this, and in this packet you get a manual. In this manual it teaches you how to assemble the equipment, communicate underwater using like symbols with your hands, and to understand how to breathe like the video I just showed you. This also contains quizzes, which a lot of them I've ripped out because I needed them to pass my certification. You also get a dive log, and within the dive log you can keep records of when you scuba dive and how deep you go. So at this one, I went 50 feet, and this is when I was in the Cayman Islands. The confined water dive is all about practice. It's where you get to practice the skills that you learn in class. You usually practice by learning how to go down, learning how to enter the water, like with your feet, how to swim with the snorkel and the fins, and how to share air with your regulator. Your BCD, well, your regulator, you usually have 2 hoses, and if someone else runs out of air when you're underneath water, you can like use your other hose, give it to them, and they can share your air from your tank. Like I just said, you can practice all these skills. You usually split to like 4 different groups from a large group, and you can practice each one individually. Then you switch groups then. The open water test dive is when you get to test your knowledge and the skills that you learned in the confined classroom. You can usually do this in like a quarry that's like filled with water, or a large body of water like a lake or something around the scuba center. Usually 2 sessions, and you usually go 15 to 40 feet. You start off at 15 and then you go further down from there. If you do all this, then congratulations, you are a scuba diver. And if you get 70 on all your quizzes or above, then you pass, and you get an ID, which has your face on it and says you're scuba certified. And if you get that, all you have to do is pull that out and go diving when you're on vacation or nearby. So that's my presentation.